This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight the road trip continues. Wrap up a brief two-game set. It's the St. Louis Cardinals and the Toronto Blue Jays from Rogers Center. Welcome to the broadcast booth here at Rogers Center. I'm Dan McLaughlin. In just a moment, you'll hear from my partner tonight, the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds. Jim Hayes is here as well. Cardinals took it on the chin in Game 1. It's been a rough start to the second half for St. Louis with a record of just 1-3. But so many times they have relied on old Uncle Charlie to get them out of a hole, and that's what they're going to do tonight. The Discover matchup, it's Adam Wainwright, the right-hander for St. Louis. Kevin Gausman, he's going for the Blue Jays. These guys combined nearly 3 decades of pitching in the big leagues. And Jimmy, what is it about Gausman that makes him so good?
Well, Danny, he has a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, but his pitch, check this out, the split. It is nasty. Not only is it nasty, look at the in the strike zone percentages. Never throws it for a strike, but gets swings and misses, and he is exactly what they say the 10-mile-an-hour difference between the fastball and the split finger should be. And then on the other hand, well, we all know what Adam Wainwright can do. Look at the break on this curveball. I mean, you can see every time he goes out there, if he's going to be successful, it's the breaking ball and it's the breaking ball down. And then if he can spot up the fastball, adds to that as well.
So the pitching matchup should be a good one here tonight. Last night, it was Toronto taking Game 1. Tonight, Waino and the Cardinals in Game 2. Blue Jays and Cardinals coming up on Bally Sports. Bally Sports Midwest brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Rogers Center. And the scene for Game 2 of the series between St. Louis and Toronto. It is 74 degrees. And the roof is open, although it is a cloudy night here north of the border with Jim Hayes, Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. And there you see it, fairly cloudy. And the Cardinals starting play 3.5 games back now as Milwaukee posted a victory today. Corbin Burns was on the mound for the Brewers. So St. Louis at 51-47, and they are 3.5 out in the NL Central Division. But you also think about the wild card as well. 9 games under John Schneider. The Jays are 8-1. They've had 77 runs scored in those games. They're averaging close to 9 runs a game, so they have picked it up, and the managerial change has paid off so far for the Toronto Blue Jays. For every team in the East, every single team coming into play today is at 500 or better. Tommy Edman is at the top of the St. Louis lineup here in game number 99 for the Cardinals. And then it is Dylan Carlson, the Canadian Tyler O'Neill, Albert Pujols, Brendan Donovan, Corey Dickerson, Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman 0 for his last 13, dropping down to the 8th spot in the lineup, and then Andrew Kisner. So Kevin Gausman, ERA even 3, and we saw Gausman last year pitching with San Francisco. He had a couple of seasons with the Giants, the short 2020 year, and then in 2021. And this guy has figured it out. And Jimmy, that's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
You can see his main 2 pitches are going to be the 4-seamer and the split finger. He does show a slider. I don't really know what that changeup's going to be unless that's just a hanging split. But the one thing I'm noticing with him is he's got really good stuff, Danny. He's sub 500 pitcher with almost a 4 ERA. So there's something there. But as of late, when he's been with a good team, he's been really successful. Early on with Baltimore, not really a great team, and had a little trouble. So which guy is he now with Toronto? He's 500 with a 3 ERA. We'll see how it goes. But I think he's got one of the best splitters in the game.
And Adam Wainwright, it's been a while since Adam has picked up a victory. You have to go back to the very end of June. So he's been sitting now. Adam has on 6 wins in the last month and a half or so. He's 6-8 this year. And here is Tommy Edman. And when he scores, the Cardinals win. He's such a key to the St. Louis offense. And the first pitch taken for a strike, and we're underway here in game number 2 of this series. Brian Onora is the home plate umpire calling the balls and strikes. Nick Merrily down at first, Trip Gibson at second, Laz Diaz the crew chief at third. And that floats in there for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. The fans have gotten behind this team now as they have started to make this run. As Edman pops it up left side, and that'll find the seats out of play. And it's a count of 1-2 as we turn to Jim Edmonds, Toyota key to the game.
Well, it's going to be against him, and it's probably against the split, but see it up. See the fastball up. See the split up. Try to raise your sights a little bit. Anything down is normally going to stay down and out of the zone. Interesting, you see Tommy kind of taking a look at the third baseman right there. He's way back. Opportunity to bunt, even though for some reason why he's looking with 2 strikes.
And a grounder to Stubby Clapp. And that'll be an E on the first base coach. Come on, Stubby, you got to have that.
I like that. Looking at the computer too. We're talking about the top being open. I was just laughing looking through the stats and stuff. It says the wind is blowing in from right at 8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
And he waves at it, and a strikeout for Gausman. And that's how we start game number 2 tonight. Kia player profile and a closer look at the Cardinals center fielder. And Dillon has been the center fielder for about a month or so with Bader out with the plantar fasciitis. Last 7 games, 6 extra base hits, which included a home run last night. And he has scored 7 runs, and that's a look at your Kia player profile. On the year, he's hitting .259, 6 home runs, and he has driven in 28. Blue Jays with a shift, and the first pitch taken for a ball. If Toronto could win tonight, they would match a season high 8-game winning streak and also a season high 12 above the 500 mark. Last reached June 15th. The Cardinals going the other way. They've dropped 13 of 21, but still at the start of play today, they're hanging on to a playoff spot because the Phillies have lost 8 of 12 going into action. And it's 2 balls and no strikes here on Dylan Carlson. And it's 2-1. Another home run last night that came on a fastball, and he can hit the fastball. 62% though of his fastball strikeouts are outside, so he'll chase every once in a while. And that was the home run and the sweet swing of a lefty, Jim Edmonds.
Yeah, he does have a nice swing. I think it's just been a little off balance a lot this year. The swing is great. You can see a little late there. He's been seeing a lot of off-speed pitches and fastball counts. That's kind of what I would think after the last couple of years be the book on him. Still, you know, trying to decipher the difference between AAA and the big leagues as far as pitching goes, and what that's going to be is more consistently seeing off-speed pitches and fastball counts. And you can see he'll wave at some, but when he connects, he's going to do damage.
Just pokes it foul and stays alive at 2-2.
By the way, that never goes away. I don't care how old you are. The difference between figuring out when you're getting pitched to, when you're not. Guys are going to pitch backwards. Guys are going to challenge you. It's different every day, and it's just basically you got to get out there and you got to really be consistent on seeing, looking for your pitch, and staying with your program.
And a fly ball lifted out to left fielder Raimel Tapia in foul territory and makes the catch. The former Rocky puts it away for out number 2. Danny Jansen is behind the plate. He homered against the Cardinals earlier this season at Busch Stadium. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. And on the infield, Chapman, Bichette, Biggio, Guerrero, Tapia, Springer, Hernandez in the outfield. And here is Tyler O'Neill. Nearly picked up a grand slam last night. The final out of the game and caught at the wall. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Jamie Pogue from Canada, Tyler O'Neill, Stubby Clapp, all born and raised in Canada. And the 1-0 pitch to O'Neill. Tapped foul. You think about the great players that have come from Canada and had a connection to either Montreal or Toronto. Go ahead, Jimmy. What was that?
Number 1 on your list?
Larry Walker.
I know what you're gonna say. There you go.
Got to be Larry Walker.
Yes, sir.
Maple Ridge, British Columbia, Larry Walker. And the 1-1. How about Joey Votto? It's a good one.
Pretty good one. Forget about him.
Russell Martin.
Oh, yes. Great catcher.
Justin Morneau.
Look at you.
But the first Canadian, by the way, to play for the Jays was Dave McKay.
I was going to say, don't forget about the great first base coach, Dave McKay.
I wouldn't forget him.
Who lent me his house for one spring training.
And the great Stubby Clapp.
The crowd cheers for him on command.
Of course they do. The 2-2. Couple of hops hit to third. Matt Chapman up with it, makes the play, and the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Big number 50 to the mound when we come back, and that's Adam Wainwright. It's game 2 north of the border, and there's no score here in Toronto. Adam Wainwright is on the mound for St. Louis. Cardinals trying to get back on track, and Jimmy, you say it a lot. When they need a win or they need innings, it seems like it's always Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, you can look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal right here, and when he's on, and he's tough to beat. And you're right, we seem to lean on him a lot. I don't know what the coincidence is, the back of the order or back of the pitching order with number 4 and 5, and then he comes back through. I don't think it's a little unfair for poor Adam. He has to come out there and pitch lights out every time he goes out there in order to get back in the win column.
And here is George Springer with his 18th home run last night. And Springer drilled a grand slam in the bottom of the 6th. It was his 7th career slam and his first since the final game of last year. He's at the top of what is an explosive Blue Jays lineup. And the 0-1 pitch. 0-2. That was the 5th grand slam hit by the Jays this year. That's most in the major leagues. Springer is now driven in 13 in his 10 career games against St. Louis. And the 0-2 pitch. On the ground. Diving stop Donovan. And the stretch by Albert. And the outs. Nice play by the corners. Brendan Donovan and Albert Pujols.
This is what you get when you have a bunch of good athletes on the team. Guys like him that can play everywhere. Donovan does a nice job. No different there than at second. He makes the play. Gets up and throws him out. Guy can play anywhere.
And the batter is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 21st home run of the season last night. 2-run homer to left. That was in the bottom of the first. He comes in with a 7-game hitting streak. And a curveball drops in for his strike. And during those 7 games, he's hitting .452, 3 doubles, a home run, and 6 runs batted in. Now, Jimmy, I was going through the list of great Canadian-born players, and by the way, that includes this guy at the plate. His dad was,
he was
playing for the Expos. So
born in Montreal.
You got it.
So does he count?
He counts, of course. Yeah. And he can hit all the way to the wall. The throw into second. Not in time. And a double for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. That's an 8-game hitting streak.
Just the sinker inside. You can see he really has done a nice job of cutting down his swing. And he realizes when that ball's inside, all he has to do is just really pull his hands in. He takes his time when he wants to take the big swing and then cuts it down right there. That's twice in the last 2 nights where he's taken a pitch in and hasn't tried to do too much and hit the barrel. One for a homer and that one for a double.
This is where they have been so good during this stretch of baseball. Runners in scoring position. Breaking ball and a strike to Alejandro Kirk, who's being used as the designated hitter tonight. '18th double of the year for Guerrero, and a high fly ball into right. That's Nootbaar. He'll make the catch. Guerrero is tagging, and the throw going into third is offline. The tag held and out. He came off the bag, and Donovan held the tag for the out. This is why now you have to hold the tag, and clearly he's off the bag and the out. No challenge, no score. Nothing else to say. Albert's coming to the dish. Very well could be his final game ever north of the border here in Toronto. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Albert Pujols trails Rogers Hornsby by just 1 hit. 4th all time on the Cardinals hits list. Albert at 2,109. And the 1-0 pitch. And it's lined into left field, and a base hit for Albert Pujols. He was on base a couple of times last night. In the last 3 weeks, Jimmy, he is swinging the bat a lot differently than what we saw at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think he's really cut down his swing. I think he's realizing, like you said earlier, we've talked about it, where the home runs aren't as important as maybe coming through with some big RBIs and some hits. And as of late, he is starting to put it together a little bit. Although his average is still only around 228, 230. He was down in the 190s, 180s. But in the last 15 games, he's hit 342. So clearly a little different change.
There's Brendan Donovan and looks at a strike, and a heads-up play by Donovan to keep the tag on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. trying to tag up from second to third, and wound up being the final out of the first inning. Oh, 1 pitch, and it's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So after the base hit, Albert, a big hug with Vladdy. Really a passing of the torch, if you will.
Maybe.
Donovan showing bunt and pushed it foul. And it's 1-2.
That was a good try right there. He just got a little cute and dropped the barrel of the bat. That's where the legs have to come down. The barrel has to stay up. All he has to do is put that thing in fair territory. He's got a base hit.
And the next pitch got him to chase, and a strikeout of Donovan, and strikeout number 2 for Gausman. Reminder, the World Baseball Classic, it is back in qualifying rounds for the WBC, taking place in September and October in Panama, also in Germany. For more information, visit worldbaseballclassic.com. There's Corey Dickerson at a base hit late last night. Cardinals have made regular season trips to Toronto in 2005, 2010, and 2014. Also played a couple of exhibition games at Rogers Center, 1998. Also, they went to Olympic Stadium in Montreal after the Expos had left. And a fastball and a strike, and it's 1-1. Cardinals will fly out to our nation's capital after this ball game, enjoy the off day tomorrow, and then the first of 3 against the Nats on Friday night. Here's a 1-1, fouled back. Only Dickerson, who's at the plate, Pujols, Gallegos, McFarland, and Adam Wainwright have ever played in this ballpark. Give you an idea of the youth of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday when you said it, how long it's been since we had been up there, and you look up and down the lineup and there was not a lot of guys around back then.
One ball and 2 strikes. Albert is running, and he's got a stolen base, and Dickerson hits it out of play. He's got to protect with 2 strikes, but Albert Pujols had that stolen standing up.
You almost want to take that just to take it, but you can't. I don't know how he kept his concentration to swing. I mean, he was almost to second base by the time the ball crossed the plate. He was jogging.
Albert did that earlier this year at second base and was picked off, and that was against Milwaukee, but that one was done to perfection. He wouldn't dare throw over, would he? He doesn't do it, and the pitch taken low, and it's now a count of 2-2.
Just picked the wrong pitch.
It happens. Corey Dickerson played in 46 games for Toronto last year. He, along with Adam Simber, who is in their bullpen, packaged in a trade last season, and that was with Miami. Crowd is still filing in, and a big crowd again here tonight at Rogers Center. And the 2-2 pitch to Corey Dickerson with Albert Pujols, your runner at first base. Slapped foul and out of play. Again, the Cardinals are without Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, and you won't hear anybody around here feel sorry for any team that comes in with players that are unavailable I mean, you think about what the Blue Jays went through in 20 and 21. Not playing here for a full season. Then it was in Buffalo, Dunedin, Florida. Finally got back to their home ballpark. That's fouled back. So, you know, we talk about it a lot, Jimmy, for a young player that goes up and down in the minor leagues, and just the simple idea of living accommodations and what you're trying to do and settle in. These players had to play at 3 different spots and go on the road, so it wasn't easy last year.
Yeah, and really had no home. And then actually, I think was kind of in the middle of the season were able to just pack back up and go home. So it was another stop for them that they had to deal with. But yeah, living out of a suitcase, some guys, you know, if it was me, I would have been afraid to get an apartment. So you've been living out of a hotel for a while, always traveling, obviously tougher on the families, but finally they got back to Toronto.
There's Nootbaar hitting 196 with 4 home runs, and he's driven in 14. And a swing and a miss. The Allstate mayhem moment, the catch made by Nootbaar. And Donovan, even though Vladdy beat the throw, Donovan keeps the tag on the body, comes off the bag, and the out. Fastball and a strike. Little history here in this inning with Albert Pujols tying Rogers Hornsby, 4th all-time on the Cardinals hits list. By the way, Albert, up next for him is his buddy Yadier Molina. And the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. He was 1 run away from passing Lou Gehrig for 11th all time in the history of baseball. He's at first base, and a home run could do that. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Nootbaar. The next by Gausman outside, and it's a count of 2-2. Last year, career best in innings pitched, wins. He had 14, 20 quality starts, an ERA under 3, and 227 strikeouts for this right-hander. The 2-2 pitch. And Nootbaar lifts a high fly ball into center. Springer is back near the edge of the track and makes the catch. Albert tied with Hornsby. No score. Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and he was the guest of Jimmy the Cat Hayes. Jimbo, what do you got?
Danny Stubby Clapp is glad to be back home. As you mentioned, he's from Windsor, Ontario. He's got his father here. He's got other family here as well. And he told me being home and breathing that Canadian air and reminiscing with family and friends has been great. Stubby has quite a history with baseball in Canada. He played for Team Canada in the Pan Am Games, World Baseball Classic, and the Olympics. He actually has a few of his bobbleheads from his days in Memphis in the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Danny, as a youngster, Stubby was a standout in baseball and hockey. Stubby told me, I think baseball chose me. In hockey, I was 5'7", 145 pounds, and I was a contact guy who didn't score very much. I got some college offers for baseball, so that's the path I followed.
And he loves hockey. He was telling me the other day he just laced up the skates for the first time in years and has got a group of guys back home in St. Louis that get together, and it's ice skating and roller hockey as well. That's a good breaking ball to Bo Bichette, and it's 1-2. Good guy, Stubby Clapp. Did a really nice job as the manager of the Memphis Redbirds, and then now here with the big league club. The 1-2 pitch by Adam Wainwright. Swing and a miss, and the tag applied by Andrew Kisner, and the strikeout for Adam Wainwright.
Pretty good pitch right here. He threw him a breaking ball up. He's thrown a couple breaking balls up, and this one is the 2-strike breaking ball. thing about this breaking ball is it usually is a little bit slower than you're expecting at 70, 71 miles an hour. It's like he throws one for a strike, then throws another one, and then throws another one slower and slower, and then right when you think you're going to put it in play, it just dies.
Teoscar Hernandez average has jumped to 280. He had singles in the first and the sixth last night. 23rd multi-hit game of the year. Also walked in the seventh. And just about everybody right now has gotten hot for the Blue Jays. Lead the major leagues with a 268 batting average. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hernandez will step out. Now, when you think about the all-time great Canadian-born players, Fergie Jenkins obviously is on that list as the best pitcher. Caught at short, and that's Tommy Edman at shortstop. The outfield grass or turf, if you will, here at Rogers Center. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. And it's O'Neill, Carlson, Newbar in the outfield. Donovan, Edman, Gorman, Albert Pujols on the infield. Kisner is behind the plate. But I got some more for you, ball game, if you're ready.
I'm listening. I love this stuff.
John Axford.
Ooh, forgot about him.
Yeah. Jamison Tyone. He is Canadian-born from St. Andrews West. But he's a Canadian citizen. You've got.
I got one for you.
Ryan Dempster.
Ready for this one?
Sure.
The guy that was pitching when I made the play in Kansas City, Jason Dixon. He was from way up north, northeast Canada, way up there.
Eric Bedard, Rich Harden, that's another one.
Is it Gagne from Canada?
Yes, he is. You said Scott Richmond. Was that the
me?
Yeah, was that what you were talking about in Kansas City?
I'm sorry, Jason Dixon.
Okay, Jason Dixon.
Pitched for the Angels.
Yep. And
he was on the mound with that breaking ball.
Biggio strikes out, and there is no score. You got the flavors of Puerto Rico. Yadier Molina's Charitable Foundation coming to the Chase Park Plaza. That'll be Monday, August 15th. All proceeds will help underprivileged children in Puerto Rico and St. Louis. YadierMolina4.com to sign up. You also had Frenchie, Real Cormier, the connection to the Cardinals Canadian-born players, and there is a strike to Nolan Gorman, who drops down into the 8th spot in the Cardinal lineup, trying to get him going. He had a tough night last night. Kisner on deck, and then Tommy Edman.
I got two for you really quick, and then I'm done.
All right, fire away, and there's a base hit by Gorman.
Pretty good ones for you too, because I think you obviously would been around in this era, but Matt Stairs and Jason Bay.
Oh yeah, those are good ones. I always thought Matt Stairs could be the ultimate softball player.
He was.
Had the look, it had the power.
And the swing.
And the swing.
Leg kick.
That's good to see.
Good
Nolan
stuff,
Gorman
though,
with that base hit.
For sure, but good stuff you pulled out right there. I like that kind of stuff.
From Cambridge, Ontario, there was Rob Ducey. He was the first Canadian to play for both the Blue Jays and the Montreal Expos. Had a real huge uppercut swing, mammoth uppercut, but he was a fan favorite.
I had him, but I didn't want to bring it up because it wasn't on the top of the list for me, and I always thought that he played for the Angels at some point, but I could not remember exactly when and where. So I left it.
Here's Andrew Kisner, and they're going to bunt in this spot and bunt it foul. Well, that should tell you, Jimmy, when you see Kisner bunting here, about how things are going right now for him. And it's obviously been a struggle. So they're going to ask him to bunt in this spot and try to advance the runner to second, which is not often done in this day and age of baseball.
No, and you hit the nail on the head. I think it shows you a couple of things. Obviously, he has been struggling to get done what he wants to get accomplished, and yet also, you know, tries. And if he's doing that on his own, at least the fact that he's trying to do something to help the team, and that's smart. That's a smart play. Still with a guy like this on the mound.
Inside corner, and it's 1-2. Cardinals have 3 sacrifices on the year. Kisner has one of them, Edman and Herrera. And the 1-2 pitch. And a fly ball into right center. Catch is made. Nolan Gorman back to the bag at first, and that's out number 1. Here's Tommy Edman, who struck out back in the first inning. Jimmy, I had coffee today with Ollie Marmol at the team hotel, and you know he still is bullish on the team. He knows that there's some deficiencies right now, but obviously when you don't have Arenado and you don't have Goldie, you are shorthanded in this brief 2-game set. That's stating the obvious. He said, but we do have opportunities for other guys to step up, and he said it's my job. I can't be frustrated, and my job is to get these guys in a position to be ready to play every single night. And that's what we're going to do. And so you've seen the opportunities for Gorman and Kisner and some of the others. Dylan Carlson getting a chance to play a ton. But he also mentioned we've got to have better starting pitching. And Tyler O'Neill has got to get back to where Tyler O'Neill can be. And if we can get that going, he said, we'll be just fine.
I think you're right, and he'll tell you that, and it's pretty obvious if you watch the games. This is a good quality team. They've always, the losing parts of this team are the inconsistencies, and I think someone addressed it not too long ago, where you're either hitting or you're pitching or you're doing one or the other. They haven't really been able to put together a good solid run as far as games played by well by the whole team, and that hurts. And it's just tough when you're playing against good teams. I mean, look at this team, this lineup they're playing tonight. I mean, these guys are killing the ball, and so if you don't pitch lights out, you have no chance. And then second of all, you still have to score runs. And so he does know he has a good team. He's got great athletes, like I keep saying. I mean, you can move guys all over the place, and it's just the potential is there. It hasn't been reached yet.
3-1 the count on Tommy Edman. The short lead at first by Nolan Gorman, and the next to Tommy is fouled back. Gosman has struck out 3 so far tonight. And the 3-2 pitch. Gorman is running, a swing and a miss, throw down to second, and safe at second base, and a stolen base for Nolan Gorman. Very close, And if it stands, that's the first stolen base for Nolan Gorman in the major leagues. Strikeout number 4 for Gausman.
Take a look at this, where he gets a decent jump. It's a good throw, but he tags him on the hand. And he just gets in there. Take a look at Bichette too. Well, when he goes to tag him, he's not expecting it. And watch him jam his hand in there also.
Ouch.
Watch right there. Both of them. You see, not very often you see both guys pull back in pain.
Jimmy, that's the hand too. Remember, he tried to have that diving attempt in shallow right field in Cincinnati and landed on the glove hand. Here's Carlson and looks at a pitch outside. He flied to left first time up. So taking a chance by starting Nolan Gorman, but hey, if you're the Cardinals, you got to try anything to get it going. Why not? And the 1-0 pitch to Dylan Carlson. 2 balls and no strikes.
Keep running until they throw you out. Not going to change anything else. I mean, they haven't been playing well. You got to try something different.
And the next pitch is number 50 for Gausman coming up. Cardinals were 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position last night. Blue Jays with a shift and a 2-0 pitch to Dylan Carlson. Here it comes. 2-1.
See a lot of that. You know, I think the younger players afraid to make mistakes, afraid to swing at pitches. I think that's a great opportunity right there. Got a fastball with a guy on second base. You got to just bet the farm you're getting a fastball. And if you swing and miss, you swing and miss. But what do the great ones say? You can't score if you don't shoot. Well, you got to pull the trigger.
Gausman set, and now the 2-1 pitch to the Cardinals center fielder. Fouled back, and it's 2-2.
You know, Danny, it is the fine things that when you lose, that if you really pay attention to year after year, things stick out. A couple years ago, we were always talking about they couldn't get a runner home from third base with less than 2 outs. They struggled all year. Probably one of the worst teams in all of the game. A couple years after that, when they struggled, it was just base getting hits with guys on second, runners in scoring position. Then they're a good team, and you don't see those things kind of open up very often. And so now it's just inconsistency. They're doing a lot of the little things, but just like that little thing right there, swinging in 2-0. You know, you're not giving yourself a good chance to hit there, and now you're battling a foul ball, and now you're getting splits and sliders and all that. You just have to kind of simplify the game and take what it gives you. And I think if you do a better job of that, and not picking on Dylan, I love the kid to death, but it was a great opportunity for him to make something happen and instead of letting the game come to him.
And the 3-2 is in the gap in left center, and that ball is down. Nolan Gorman will score. Carlson on his way to second, and he comes through with a 2-out double here in the third inning, scoring Gorman, and it's 1-0 St. Louis.
And by the way, right there is the reason why we're having that conversation, because he can hit. He can do those things. He just made himself have a tougher at bat, and that goes to show you what kind of talent he has. He stays with it, gets a hanging split or a changeup. It's a changeup right there, and just stays on it and drives it the other way. Great job. Just made it a little tougher on himself than maybe the 2-0 fastball.
But I think your point is completely valid. You know, you're going to get a 2-0 pretty good pitch, do some damage.
Yeah, and that's partly too. You know, he gets pitched backwards a lot, so he's not, you know, not sure exactly what he's doing. You hate to pull off a ball at 2-0, and you know that's just all about the what ifs, and sometimes you just got to let it fly.
There's Tyler O'Neill, grounded out to third, first time up. And the 0-1 pitch to O'Neill. 0-2. The fastball at 96. Well, Gausman has got a lot of weapons. And the 0-2 pitch. It's 1-2. Blue Jays will have Chapman, Jansen, and Tapia coming up. Runner at second, Dylan Carlson. And the 1-2 pitch. Fouled back, and a good rip by Tyler O'Neill. The 1-2 again. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Gausman. 2-out double. Dylan Carlson to bring in Nolan Gorman, and it's 1-0. Cubs and Yankees, they're coming to St. Louis beginning next Tuesday. For a limited time, you can purchase $10 tickets thanks to McDonald's. And $10 tickets August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th against Chicago. The 7th against the Yankees. Cardinals.com/ticketfest today. Dylan Carlson with the 2-out double that scores Nolan Gorman. And the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead. It's Matt Chapman, Danny Jansen, and Raimel Tapia. And the first pitch taken for a ball. A slow breaking ball, and Kisner helps Waino get that strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Chapman had a single in the first and the 6th last night. He was 2 for 3. Had been in a rough stretch of baseball. He was 0 for 16, but then since then he's got 4 multi-hit games in his last 5. The 2-1 pitch. 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Up and in. Full count.
Yeah, this doesn't look. This is almost like you try to get a 4-seamer in there to stay straight. And it's a pretty good thing that it was a 4-seamer that might have chased him off the helmet, but it looked like it slipped out of his hand, and it was only 87 miles an hour, but it probably looks like 110 up by your face.
And the 3-2 is tapped foul. Waino's trying to slow down a Toronto team that has scored double-digit runs game after game after game as they've come out of the gates here in the second half, swinging the bats, and it's up and down their lineup. The 3-2 pitch from Adam Wainwright. Swing and a miss, and that's strikeout number 3. And 2 in a row for Waino.
Like a slider right here. A little bit more break going down and not across. It just kind of stays in there, almost like a little bit of a backup slider that had some depth to it. But it's funny you say that, Danny, too. Like, it was interesting to see that they're kind of chasing the Yankees 11.5 back. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've scored an amazing amount of runs. They're third in the league and third in baseball in runs scored. But their run differential is only 61. They've given up 417 runs as a pitching staff and scoring 478. So that's where they're having trouble chasing the Yankees, which their basically run differential is 197.
Deep left center, and that'll stay in the ballpark off the bat of Danny Jansen. And that'll be out number 2. May have gotten away with that pitch, but stays in the ballpark, and there's 2 away. And it brings in Tapia. This is his 16th career game against the Cardinals, hitting close to 300 in those games. He's actually seen the Cardinals more than anybody else this Blue Jays roster.
That would be coming from the Colorado Rockies, correct?
Yes, sir. He's got very good speed and an inside the park grand slam the other day at Fenway Park. Hit a ball out to center, and it was in the twilight. They couldn't find it, and he was off to the races.
Look at him. You know, he's having himself a nice little career. He's got 1,500 at bats, and he's hit 281, so that's not bad. Like he said, he can fly.
It's really interesting, you being a former great defensive player in center, but how you approach, how you build a team in Colorado. Do you want more of guys like this? And he can hit for a little power, but he runs well to cover all the ground that you have to cover at Coors or in the National League West. Or do you just say, the heck with it, let's go get Dante Bichette and Vinny Castilla?
You know, it's funny you were going to say that, because you would think that the speed would work, and they've had some pretty decent teams with, you know, just not great players, but then the best teams they've ever had were just massive bombers, and they still didn't have much pitching, but they outslugged everyone. So I don't know how you could do both, to be honest with you. You would have to get a couple guys that could play defense maybe in the outfield and get a bunch of sluggers around the infield. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, and then pitching is, you know, they've tried with pitching for years. You know, you get a sinker baller and he's great. The ball doesn't sink. You know, Darryl Kyle had a little success there with that breaking ball, but he said he just couldn't get the breaking ball down at times. I mean, there's just so many different things that can go wrong for the player going from one place to then Colorado. It's just not as simple as it seems.
And Mike Hampton, Denny Nagel, Ubaldo Jimenez was very good there for a while. But it is very, very tough.
A lot of teams that go in there too, they get beat giving up base hits. If you think about that, and I was always told, don't play too deep. The ball's going to go over your head. It's going to keep going. It's going to be a double or a home run. But what happens in that ballpark is a walk and a base hit is first and third no matter what. It's instant first and third. And, you know, if a ball gets into the gap a little bit, it's second and a run scored. So I think I wish somehow someone's going to have to do some studying there and say, okay, this is what happens more than often. Let's play this way. Clearly they have the numbers and the technology now, so they should figure it out.
In the air down the right field line, it is hooking and foul. A nice play.
You know what else
made
too,
by a
Danny?
fan.
And also too, it's not just speed. You got to have some guys that can accept responsibility and be good players on defense. Can't just run some guy out there in center field because he can run, but he doesn't know what he's doing. And so it's a little bit of everything. You got to get a smart player that can run and put him out there with guys that listen to him and will play the way that, you know, the outfield is designed. And then maybe get some guys that can hit, but still pitching is the key.
This will be the 10th pitch of the plate appearance here. And it's put on the ground to Tommy Edman. And 1, 2, 3 go the Blue Jays. Albert coming up, 7 in a row set down by Waino. Hornsby and Pujols both had decade triple crowns when they played. And now they're tied 4th all-time in hits in Cardinals history. Albert Pujols with a base hit to left back in inning number 2. And it's 2,110 hits, tied with Rogers Hornsby. And the first pitch to Albert is fouled back in a good rip. Albert has played in 43 different stadiums, and he's hit a home run in 40 of them. And the 0-1 hit fair inside the first base line. He is now 4th in hits in Cardinals history. He passes Hornsby with a double up the first base line, and he's 2 for 2 tonight.
About the look on his face right there. It says it all. You talk about him having fun. It's nonstop. Gets a little slider right here off the end of the bat, but no one's playing him over by first base.
And it's hit number 2,111 with the Cardinals. Donovan, a base hit into right field. Albert took a peek back, and now here he comes. Throw to the plate, and he is out. He read it off the bat, but then going around third, kind of tippy-toed, took a peek back, and Teoscar Hernandez picks up the outfield assist.
Not so sure about what happened here. I don't know if I would chance this right here with Albert running, no matter how desperate you are to score runs, and maybe try to sneak one in. Got a chance right there for first and third and nobody out.
I think it's twofold, Jimmy. You don't want to get Albert hurt, but also just the baseball side of it. First and third, nobody out. So
almost
one
like
out now and a runner at first.
Like you said, they almost like this tried to surprise them. Sorry, you're right. You only got one out now, and you have one out with a man on first, but it's almost like the surprise attack right there to see if he was going to throw the ball home or not.
And the 1-0 pitch to Corey Dickerson. And back in safely, Donovan.
Thing that adds it for me, Danny, is the turf. If you're on grass, I can see maybe, but on turf, you get no chance of a bad hop, and then you have even a bad throw bounces clean to the plate. So that makes me want to pull back.
And the 1-0 pitch fouled back by Corey Dickerson. He had a lot of fronts. I'm not sure I agree with that play. By the way, Albert Pujols is now 13 for his last 34. That's close to a 400 average. Righties, lefties, it hasn't mattered. He's playing and producing. And Dickerson sends one out to right. And the catch made by Teoscar Hernandez. Out number 2. Feel the need for speed, then fly over to Busch Stadium. It's Top Gun Maverick Night. Purchase of a special themed ticket. Get an exclusive Cardinals t-shirt featuring your favorite co-pilots, Uncle Charlie and Yachty. Cardinals.com/theme. Top Gun Maverick Night. Lars Nootbaar fly to center first time up. Inside corner and a strike. And that's hit down the right field line, fair and into the corner. Racing to third, it's Donovan. Pop Warner waving him in. The relay to the plate, no throw. It'll go to third and out. The run will score, though. The run scores. Donovan scoring on the double by Lars Nootbaar. And the Cardinals extending their lead. Well, that's a reaction right there of Ali Marmol, and I don't think Jimmy he was happy one bit, and I can understand why. You had Albert getting thrown out at the plate, then you had Nootbaar getting thrown out at third. Kind of a Cardinal sin there, so to speak, is not make that final out at third. But you had 3 hits in the inning, and you got 1 run to show for it. So Cardinals do have the lead, though, of 2-0.
Yeah, I think he's obviously not happy. It doesn't matter if you score 1 or 5, you still don't want to get 2 guys thrown out on the bases in 1 inning. I mean, just regardless of the effort level or the hustle, smart baseball will overrule all of that. And not getting thrown out on the bases is one way to score runs, and that was not a good job that inning.
Beautiful breaking ball by Adam Wainwright for strike 1 to George Springer. So you had the first out at the plate and the third out at third. Not ideal. Ground ball, diving stop by Donovan, gets up. Oh, what a play. Brendan Donovan, his second fine defensive play at third tonight.
This guy can do it all, Danny. Plays everywhere. He's just a player. It's a nice play. I love it. I love watching him play. Like a throwback.
Here's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and the first pitch, a strike. The Bounty quick stats and the comparisons to the Hall of Famer and his son. Not too far back of Pops.
Pretty dang cool.
Coming into play tonight, Donovan had played 94 innings at third base this year. Filling in for Arenado. He'll be back with the Cardinals on Friday in Washington. And it's a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Adams got that breaking ball working here tonight. It's really sharp.
Yeah, I feel like, especially on the East Coast, he seems to get that heavy air where he really gets good break.
And the base hit out to left. Guerrero will stop at first base. And a 1-out hit off the turf, and he's 2 for 2.
That's a tough play right there. That just bounces once. That ball didn't even hit the turf. That was straight off the dirt, which is even more impressive. It bounced that high. That's not supposed to happen.
There's Alejandro Kirk. And he looks at a pitch outside. Kirk has grounded into 8 double plays. And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Kirk flied out to right field, and Nootbaar then threw out Guerrero trying to tag up from second to third. Initially safe, but then came off the bag. Curveball, a beauty. Just sometimes you look at it, Jimmy, he's always got that in his back pocket, but some nights it just looks a little bit better than others.
Yeah, it looks good. And I thought earlier, too, watching the sinker, I thought that was a good pitch for him. It was really moving. And a couple of times he tried to rush it and really throw it down. Other than that, he's been pretty. That's the one right there. I don't know what that is. He's done it twice tonight. His mechanics, you can completely see he tried to sling one down. But other than that, the sinker's been pretty much on all night, and the breaking ball's been right where he needs it. So far, so good.
Cardinals have turned 97 ground ball double plays, tops in baseball. And with Waino on the mound, they have turned 12 of those. Start the runner on the 3-2, and a little foul ball. Little roller up the first base line, and Kirk is still alive. Just joined us, the Cardinals have out hit the Blue Jays 6-2, and they lead 2-0. Dylan Carlson with an RBI double. And Lars Nootbaar with an RBI double. Start the runner again. Swing and a miss. Kisner's throw, and safe at second. It'll be a strikeout, but Guerrero picks up the stolen base, and that's his first of the year.
Such a good pitch to run on the breaking ball. Tough play for Kiz right here. Watch this play by Gorman, though. This is a nice play, and he just comes up. That ball gives him another split second of a hop. If he can stay down, Guerrero's out. That's one heck of a pick.
You have Bo Bichette here, and then Teoscar Hernandez. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bird.
Big dreams can have a lasting impact, and your dreams deserve award-winning support. So go ahead and dream big. We'll be right there with you. Great support, Great Southern Bank.
So here's Bichette, struck out swinging against the curveball back in the second inning. In the series, the Blue Jays 5 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And the first pitch is off the plate. Not as big as his dad, but has that look about him, doesn't he, Jimmy?
Yeah, he's got a similar swing, I think. And, you know, that's kind of like teaching your son more of the mental aspect, and you kind of take on the person who's teaching you, and I think he does a nice job. It really does. I think his dad was the same way. He stays inside the ball, and you can see right here that ball kind of just got to where he could clobber it. Tough to tell right there, but I mean, Dante Bichette was one heck of a hitter. So if you're going to have somebody teach you, that's a pretty good one.
Edman trying to keep it on the infield. His throw to the plate will be cut off, and the Blue Jays score. A slowly hit ball left side. And Bichette picks up a base hit and a run batted in, his 53rd. Ooh, that's a tough one to swallow there for Waino.
That ball just squirted through. He does a really nice job. This guy does a good job of hanging in there on off speed. He did it right there. That's a great try by Tommy. I didn't think you having a chance to even touch that ball.
Initially, I thought it was going to be Donovan's ball going to his left, but couldn't get there, and Edman almost kept it on the infield, and it's Hernandez and a check on Bichette. So the Blue Jays get on the board to make it 2-1. Bichette with 7 stolen bases this year. But he'll try because he's been caught 6 times already this year.
Not afraid to run, huh?
Keep going. Hernandez hit a liner that was caught by Tommy Edman his first time up. And the 0-1 pitch outside. So 2 outs, runner at first, and a count of 1 ball, 1 strike on Teoscar Hernandez. Let's look at this series with 2 outs, and the Blue Jays have had a pretty good number of their runs coming in this particular spot. And the 1-1 is lined into right center, and the catch made by Dylan Carlson. The 2-out single by Bichette to score Guerrero, and it's 2-1. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam and some base running mistakes by St. Louis. Potentially, they went for it, and Albert trying to score on a base hit. That was the first out in the inning, and this is the last out in the inning. Now a run did score here. That was Brendan Donovan, but the throw by Guerrero to third, and that would catch Lars Nootbaar. And that floats in there for a strike as we start playing here in the 5th, and the Cardinals have a lead of 2-1. And Gorman pops it foul. Ollie is very good with his young players, and he was telling me today that he had breakfast yesterday with Nolan Gorman. Wanted to take him out, just talk to him, kind of find out, all right, where are you at? How you feeling? Where are you at mentally? Let's get you back on track. What can we do? Just the little things that a manager tries to do to keep his players the best level they possibly can be. And it was a tough day, obviously, for Gorman, but first time up tonight, picked up a base hit, run scored, and a stolen base. His first in the big leagues.
No one will probably never go to breakfast with Ollie again after yesterday.
Well, it had a residual effect, Jimmy. It just took a while to settle in. 2-2 the count. Big shift on the right side, and the 2-2, and Gorman lifts it in the air out to deep left at the wall. It's gone. In opposite field home run. Nolan Gorman with home run number 10 of his rookie season. His second hit tonight, his second run scored, and the Cardinals back with a 2-run lead.
Well, I'll be honest with you, this is probably the most important home run of his year so far this year because of where it went. Every ball before this, I believe he has pulled or hit the center, and this ball is crushed to left center field, and that's just a reminder that you don't have to get out in front and pull every pitch. Good swing. Man, you could tell when the ball comes off his bat, it's going a long way.
And Nolan Gorman was out early today taking BP, and I'm telling you what, it is a sight to see. He just crushes the ball. It's a long home run he just hit there. Get a second hit on the night. That's to the backstop, and it's Andrew Kisner. I mean, that's just a short, quick, compact swing, Jimmy, full of power. And that's why you look at him and you know that there's going to be strikeouts, but man, is he going to give you some home runs, and probably when he starts to figure things out even more so, you're talking about a guy that's going to have a tremendous career hitting the long ball.
That's why I say I think that's one of the most important home runs he's hit all year, is because that just shows you that it can be done.
That's a ground rule double off the bat of Andrew Kisner down the right field line. The Cardinals with their third double, actually their fourth double of the night. Was 412 feet and 106 off the bat. And the runner at second is Kisner, and here's Tommy Edman, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Nobody out. And the first pitch, Edman bunts in the air and foul. I don't know about you. Am I seeing this right? We're seeing a bunt a couple of times.
Well, wasn't that it was pretty obvious, because the defense for the Blue Jays is playing for a bunt as if we were back in the 90s. So yeah, I guess we're going to start over and try to move a guy around and try to get him in.
Creates a lot of room on the left side of the infield too. Third baseman Chapman playing in, and Tommy bunts it foul, and now he's in the hole, 0-2.
See what I mean about moving the bat? You got to get down there in the position with hitting, get your knees down in there, and your legs move. The bat can't move. If you have to move the bat up or down, especially down, it's going to be a tough way to bunt.
How many times you see it where a guy tries to get a couple of bunts down, and then all of a sudden he can't do it. You get 2 strikes, and you focus so much on putting the ball in play, or at least trying to advance the runner, and you bring him in. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah, you're hoping for a homer right here, is what you're saying.
And that's another one. And they 1-2.
Good take.
2-2. Cardinals are 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position tonight. 4 for 11 in the series. Gausman had 78 pitches. Trevor Richards, a right-hander, throwing in their pen. And the 2-2. A swing and a miss, and a tough night for Tommy Edman. Hitless, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, and that's strikeout number 6 for Gausman.
Good split right here. Just takes off. This is the changeup again, not the split. You can see the changeup. The difference in the changeup for him right there, it looks like a 2-seam fastball. Where the split's going to kind of spin funny, and you might be able to pick it up. That changeup stays up just a little bit longer and runs off the plate, where the split finger fastball just dives straight down.
Here's Carlson, and the first pitch taken high and did not go, says Laz Diaz. Carlson with a double with 2 outs into the gap in left center, back in the third, and that scored Nolan Gorman. He's also flied out to left. The 1-0 pitch to Dillon. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Since we're in Canada, Jimmy, this is the Gretzky game. It's number 99 tonight.
Oh. Good call.
The 1-1. And Dylan Carlson lifts a high fly ball into deep left center. Springer back, and he'll make the catch. Kisner tacking up from second to third. And it'll be a runner at third with 2 outs. And the batter is Tyler O'Neill. Albert Pujols on deck. O'Neill tonight has grounded out to third and also struck out swinging. Gausman has struck out 6. He has not walked a man, and he's allowed 8 base hits. So 2 outs, runner at third. First pitch to O'Neill. Backs up for a ball. Blue Jays in their half of the 5th will have Biggio, Chapman, and Jansen coming up. Two balls and no strikes. Tyler, with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, does have a home run. He's driven in 8 with a .217 average. 5 for 23. The 2-0 pitch to Tyler O'Neill. 3-0, and Albert Pujols is on deck. Albert has made history tonight with his 2 hits, passing Rogers Hornsby on the Cardinals' all-time hits list. And now we're going to see him come up with runners at first and third. Albert, Jimmy, also set a record for the most we've ever seen him smile in a game. That's unofficial.
And a couple of hugs, couple smiles.
That's going to be it. So Trevor Richards, the right-hander, will come in for Gausman, who's knocked out here in the 5th inning, and Albert Pujols coming up. That's some respect still for Albert. Cardinals leading 3-1. Albert Pujols is due up for St. Louis. The BJC Healthcare difference maker has been the Cardinal first baseman tonight. That tied Rogers Hornsby on the all-time hits list in Cardinals history, and then that broke the tie. He is now in 4th place all alone with that double trotting into second base. Albert now with 2,111 hits as a Cardinal. Right-handers hitting .244 against Richards, making his 38th appearance. Pitched 3 days ago at Boston. And head-to-head against Albert Pujols, Albert is 0 for 1. Runners at first and third and 2 outs. And the first pitch is a ball outside. Chevy called to the pen. And the 1-0 is a check on O'Neill. Pujols with 6 home runs this year. Albert lifts it in the air out to center, and that's number 7.
Wow.
686 bombs in what could be his final appearance here in Toronto. Number 5 is putting on a show.
Did you see where that ball landed?
Wow.
That's in somebody's dinner up there in the restaurant.
He's 3 for 3. He's a triple away from the cycle. And a mammoth home run for number 686 in the sweet swing of number 5.
That's so far, Danny. It is so far.
Wow. It has been so much fun, Jimmy. The good, the bad, the ugly sometimes with Albert at age 42, watching him play. But man, is it fun having him back in St. Louis. It's awesome.
I'll tell you what, when he's got it going like tonight, it looks like he never left, and it's just one of those things. He's said to stop with the leg kick so much, more consistent. And the thing for me is, that's without trying right there. That's just with swinging the bat. And I think that for Albert, talking about like in LA and even before, they got him caught up in the velocity off the bat. And I think that that doesn't matter for a guy like that. Not all of his home runs are bombs and the exit velocity. They're home runs because they fly a long way. And he's a better hitter when he's not trying to do all that. And he's been slowly, I think, going back to the days of the old where small leg kick, balance, and this get the bat to the ball. Look at that list.
439 feet, 686 career home runs. So he's 10 back of A-Rod. And here is Corey Dickerson, and that is popped up and out of play. That's a base hit, by the way, for Donovan, his second hit. Albert Pujols now has driven in 24 on the year to go along with his 7 home runs. And at a time when this team needed somebody to step up in the worst way, and I'm telling you tonight, they needed somebody to step up. We've got a long ways to go. It's the 42-year-old legend Albert Pujols, who's 3 for 3 and a triple away from the cycle. Pretty awesome. Third 3-hit game of the season. There's a home run in all 3 of those games. His 243rd career 3-hit game. That's tied with A-Rod, 31st all time. This place has just gotten quiet. And a ground ball softly hit. Dickerson is out at first. They just barely get him. Albert Pujols tied Rogers Hornsby with a base hit to left in the second. Then a double up the first base line. And moments ago, home run number 7 of the year. 686 and a no-doubter. Wow. Well, folks, you always hear us talk about the distance of home runs and the StatCast era, and that began in roughly 2015. And since that time, Albert Pujols has 166 home runs. That last one was 439 feet, the 8th longest of any of the 166. He's 42. He's still incredible and worth the price of admission. And now Wainwright with a lead of 6-1. The 0-1 pitch to Biggio is swung on and missed, and it's 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch, slow breaking ball and taken just a bit low, and it's 1-2. Biggio struck out swinging back in the second inning. And the 1-2 pitch, curveball. This is when you know you're getting a little bit older in the game, is when you start facing guys and they were Hall of Famers, and all of a sudden you got to face their kids. And Wainwright is doing that here. And he did that to Craig, and now he does it to his son. A strikeout, number 5. All right, Jim, I got to say the cat because I don't want to get anybody confused. Jim Hayes, what do you have for us?
Denny, with the trade deadline approaching, there are always rumors flying around. I asked Ollie Marmol how he and his players dealt with the uncertainty. He told me it can be a distraction the way I look at it. We have a game tonight. My job is to manage the guys that are in this clubhouse. Their job is to perform for the team they're with tonight. Danny Ollie said there is obviously a human side to this, but to try to lock in and do your job the best you can.
There's no doubt. I mean, you're getting to that point in time. A ball game, I like to call it hug watch.
What?
Well, when you start seeing guys in the dugout getting the hugs in the middle of a game, well, you know, probably they're on their way out. Hug watch.
I think it's fun. I think it's funny when you come to work and everyone's looking at starting lineups to see who's not in the lineup that day.
Sure. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Right? Speculation.
I wonder if it's harder now for athletes than it's ever been because of the internet and just the different things that are always swirling.
I mean, you definitely find out a lot quicker. That's for sure. Or find out from, it's harder to keep it a secret, let's say.
And a base hit by Matt Chapman out to left.
Pretty good swing right here. That's why he's a valuable player. He's got that potential and that swing, although he hasn't really taken off with the bat. The glove has been amazing, but there's potential for both sides right there.
Danny Jansen fly to deep center, first time up. And there's a strike, and it's 1-1. We have not seen Genesis Cabrera since the All-Star break. Ryan Helsley should be rested. Plenty of rest. Gallegos, I mean, the bullpen for the most part should be ready to go with the exception of Jordan Hicks. The 2-1 pitch. from Waino. And a fly ball into right center. Calling for it. It's going to be Carlson. He'll make the catch in front of Nootbaar. And that is out number 2.
It's a nice job right there by Carlson, and maybe even a better job on Nootbaar getting out of the way. Nootbaar had an awful, awful jump. And he realized that Dillon was closing in fast, so you have to give way to the center fielder. You got to keep on yelling.
And to me, he called it pretty early into going there to make sure that there was not a collision. You could see that here.
I think that
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I think the problem is the problem with that is that you could clearly see in the real live version of when it was going on that Nootbaar was going back hard and he panicked, and that's when your brain starts racing and maybe you don't listen or can't hear what you should be hearing, and so they were closing in. I was kind of sitting in my seat going, oh no, and thankful he backed off at the last second. But those are all the little things that go into, you know, the play also. If you get a late jump, you panic, you run harder, you don't listen as well, everything's not as smooth. And you could see Lars at the very end finally just peeled off. Dillon all over it.
A short lead at first, and the 1-1 in on the hands of Tapia. Now that's in your kitchen. Watch him put his arm up right there.
But you see the angle Lars took? He kind of thought it was in the gap a little bit more, and he started going back, and then once he did that, he was way behind where he needed to be, and Dillon was all over it. But I think what I was looking at was Lars trying to make up ground in a hurry and didn't realize where he was at.
Diving stop, Edmonds spinning, and not in time with the speed of Tapia to get down that first base line.
That dude can run.
There's Tommy Edman again, showing off his range up the middle.
Anybody else in the league probably gets it. It's a heck of a play.
So 2 outs and 2 on. And George Springer been robbed a couple of times by Brendan Donovan down at third. And the first pitch just off the plate and a ball.
I think you got to be careful right here.
No doubt.
With Springer, his third at bat, just going to swing and hunt fastball, looking sinker. So just be careful. Make sure you make your pitch.
And the 1-0 pitch, as he drops to a knee on a slow breaking ball at 75 miles per hour.
Kind of what I'm talking about right there. And then my other part of this would be to stay away with everything. The sinker, the cutter, the breaking ball. Do not let him get the bat out to pull one.
And there's strike 2. All right, Jimmy, 1 and 2. What do you come with here?
I'm either going to say the slower curveball, but away to chase, or you have to go in off the plate just to set up the next pitch. Not necessarily looking for the out. If you go inside, you're kind of looking to set up maybe the next breaking ball.
Swing and a miss, and he struck him out. He got him with the breaking ball, and the Blue Jays strand a pair. We head to the 6th. The signature breaking ball of Uncle Charlie, and it's 6-1. Don't miss your chance to get discounted Cardinals tickets. 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station using the My Phillips 66 app and get up to 50% off Cardinal tickets. And for more information, visit phillips66gas.com/Cardinals. And a strike to Lars Nootbaar. 7, 8, and 9. Nootbaar, Gorman, and Kisner. Nootbaar with an RBI double back in the fourth. He's also flied out to center. 1 for 2 on the night. Had him out in front, and it's popped up. Left side, Matt Chapman under it, has it, and there's the first out. StatCast powered by Google Cloud, and Nolan Gorman with a couple of hits, a stolen base, and this home run 412 feet into left center, and his 10th home run of his rookie season.
It's a great look right there, how smooth the swing was and how very little effort the swing takes to get for him to generate that much power.
Thought the Cat had an interesting report about players and the trade deadline, and any young player, especially a top prospect, you're always hearing your name. If you're Nolan Gorman, you're Dylan Carlson, you're Matthew Liberatore, you're Jordan Walker, you're Mason Wynn. I mean, it's just, that's the game. And look at that sweet swing and the power.
That was a great look right there. I think that, you know what you can do, to be honest with you, and what had happened in the past that I've been around, is when you are a general manager or an owner or manager and you kind of have the insight on it, I think you can kind of do it quietly where you can walk around and maybe ease some of the guys' minds. You know, you might not be able to do it for everyone, but if there's a couple guys that are, you know, that are untradeable, you know, you could go over there and be like, hey, you know, whatever you hear, don't worry about it. This is not what we're trying to do. You know, and you'll be the first to hear it from me. But that could settle some guys' nerves a little bit and not have them looking over their shoulder every 5 minutes. But to be honest with you, a lot of guys just put it out of their mind as soon as the game starts.
That's their sanctuary, so to speak, between the white lines.
The only one you got.
Six to 1 Cardinals. Couple of home runs hit tonight. One by Gorman, the other by Pujols, and the 1-2. And that's a pitch right there that he was chasing late in the game last night. You know, they get him a lot, as you know, Jimmy, hard up and in, and then they were getting him soft away last night.
Well, that's why I think that home run was so important for him. So he knows now he can stay out over the plate. He needs to leave this ball alone, but then they try to go in there. I mean, you're going to chase, but the inside one is the one you can't go after. I mean, this is to be expected once in a while. You got a home run hitter, you got power. You're going to go after the fastball when you see it. But to look in, to pull in, and to chase in is where you start to get yourself in trouble.
And 2 outs, and the batter is Kisner. And a ground rule double hit down the right field corner back in the 5th inning. And scored on the 3-run blast by Albert Pujols. And if he gets a triple, speaking of Pujols, then we have certainly seen it all. That would give him the cycle.
I'm going to go with the under.
That's up the middle and a base hit.
But then when do you ever have bet against Albert?
You got it. Stranger things have happened. It's a 3rd hit allowed by Richards. And here is Tommy Edman, who is 0 for 3 tonight with 3 strikeouts. He does not have a 4 strikeout game. Jimmy, you played with Albert. I've had the chance and the privilege to call his first home run and his first hit. this is as fun as I've had being around him. I don't know if you feel that way, but this has been a blast.
Yeah, I mean, he's been having fun. I love being around him again to see it too. And you know, it's really funny, really quick. He said, "You know, bro, these guys are holding on to the game a little too tight these days."
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the content descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Adam Wainwright into the bottom of the 6th, and it's 6-1. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in a big inning here for Waino. Inning number 6. Cardinals leading 6-1. And Vladdy is 2 for 2. Also picked up his first stolen base of the year. That's off the plate. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Doubled down into the left field corner. And then he chopped one at about 103 miles an hour off the dirt, and it went over Brendan Donovan. Wound up being a base hit to left and came around to score. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Beauty. One ball and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss, and a strikeout number 7 tonight for Adam Wainwright. So 7 strikeouts tonight for Waino. 5 hits allowed and just the 1 run. And Jimmy, he's got Uncle Charlie working.
Yeah, I think Uncle Charlie is working, but so is the fastball. And you notice, to me, hasn't thrown a lot of cutters. Hasn't really used that a whole lot this year. But tonight especially, it's been the breaking ball and the fastball. A couple of sliders. Mix in a couple of 4-seams also, but really nice job throwing that breaking ball when he needs a strike or a strikeout, and then being able to pitch off of both, which I think is why he gets in the situation to be successful, is he can use the fastball to pitch off of, or he can pitch off of the breaking ball.
Alejandro Kirk at the plate, 0-2. Cardinals in the 7th inning will have Carlson, O'Neill, and Albert Pujols, who is a triple away from the cycle. Line to third, and there's Donovan for out number 2. Friday, August 12th, Cardinals and Brewers. That night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home an embroidered 1982 V-neck jersey courtesy of Phillips 66. And get those tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Brendan Donovan has been busy at the hot corner tonight. That's his 3rd really fine play. There's the breaking ball.
Last night too, right?
Bichette to chase. What's that, Jimmy?
I thought last night too. I thought last night too. Had a pretty good night at 3rd.
I like him there. Then again, I like him everywhere.
I was going to say the same thing. You got me.
He's just a good baseball player. One ball and 1 strike. Bichette had an infield hit. It was knocked down by Tommy Edman in the 4th, and that scored Guerrero to account for the only run tonight for the Blue Jays. 2-1 the count. 1 for 2 on the night. Struck out swinging on a curveball back in inning number 2. And a fly ball into deep right center. Carlson is there to make the catch. Nice play. Dylan Carlson on the run. In a 1-2-3 inning for Waino. We head to the 7th, and it's 6-1. Tap, and the Cardinals headed to our nation's capital in Washington, D.C. Friday night, our coverage beginning at 5:30 on Valley Sports Midwest. Yeah, we'll be talking about that guy. The whole league is, and that's Juan Soto, still a member of the Nationals. Anibal Sanchez going in game 1, and we'll come your way at 5:30. We head to the 7th. It's Carlson, O'Neill, and Pujols, and the new pitcher is Jeremy Beasley. Our Chevy called to the pen.
How much fun would it be to do their series in that last couple days of the trade deadline?
Well, it depends. Are you a big Juan Soto fan?
I mean, it would be very interesting to see what happens. Clearly, they say they're going to have to trade him. They can't sign him, and someone's going to have to give up big prospects and a lot of money in the future. So that's a tough situation for whoever on both sides.
There's Carlson, who is doubled to left center, 2-out RBI double back in the 3rd. Albert Pujols is 3 for 3 tonight if you've just joined us, in a triple away from the cycle. If you're wondering, the oldest player to ever hit for the cycle was Dave Winfield. The Hall of Famer did it at the age of 39. And it looks like Carlson is hit by the pitch again, and that's the 3rd time he's been hit by a pitch, the foot, this road trip.
He's got a magnet on his feet. Right on the top again.
Jimmy, do you remember the old exhibition stadium here in Toronto?
I remember seeing it.
So they would have seagulls coming in all the time. Dave Winfield, when he was a member of the Yankees, apparently threw a ball coming in. I guess they were warming up, whatever. And this is Tyler O'Neill, and he hit a seagull, and the seagull did not find its way to another nacho.
Did not make it.
Did not make it. So Dave Winfield actually was brought in by the Toronto Police Department. There was a warrant issued for his arrest, and he was booked. Bail was set at $500. He cooperated with the Blue Jays and the local authorities. And Billy Martin said, you know, he wouldn't have done it on purpose if you had watched him play as much as I have.
I have heard that story. I didn't know if it was a true story or not.
It's a true story. And then Dave Winfield
is out there.
Became a member of the Blue Jays, and then really has turned into a fan favorite. And he was a part of their legendary 1992 World Series team. Had some big hits. They won the World Series against Atlanta. Popped up into shallow right, and the catch is made by Teoscar Hernandez. Albert Pujols with the base hit to left, so that tied him with Hornsby. Then a double inside the first base line that broke a tie with Hornsby, 4th all time in Cardinal hits. And then this blast, 439 feet. And the first pitch taken for a ball. Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. 1 out, runner at first, so single, double, home run. Pujols 3 for 3.
You're really pushing for this triple, aren't you? You want to see it.
And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Pujols with 44 career 4-hit games. 44. Ahead in the count here with 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0. And Albert lifts a fly ball into center. Springer under it, and he'll make the catch. And the first time that Albert Pujols has been retired.
That ball just got deep. Just got a little deep on him right there. And stood him up a little bit too much. And whew, that could have been a good one. I'd rather see him jog past third on the way to home with another homer than the cycle.
Take it easy with it. Here's Donovan, who's got a couple of hits tonight and a run scored. 2 singles. By the way, 37 career games with at least a single, a double, and a home run for Albert Pujols. 37 of those. 44 4-hit games. And a runner goes, and now hung up. Carlson, and he's picked off, and he's out of the baseline. Time to stretch, and the Cardinals have the lead. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And presented by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Do a little deep dive here on Albert and what's happened here tonight. So 42 years, 192 days. He is the oldest player ever to homer at this ballpark. And as we mentioned earlier, he was one shy of passing Lou Gehrig for 11th most in baseball history in runs scored, and he's done that with the home run. Every single time he does something, he's setting some kind of record or another. There's a swing and a miss. Teoscar Hernandez here in the bottom of the 7th, and Adam Wainwright is dealing again here tonight. Just 5 hits allowed, and he struck out 7. The 0-1 pitch. Fly ball, deep right. Nootbaar, plenty of room though to make the catch. While we have a moment, quick word from Siteman Cancer Center.
The Brain Tumor Center at Siteman, committed to research, invested in technology, powered by Washington University physicians.
So the first out here in this home half of the 7th, and Biggio is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. Both have been swinging, and the first pitch a little bit high. 93 pitches in this ball game. And a ground ball hit into the shift. There's Tommy Edman, gloves it to his left, makes the play, and that's out number 2. There's Matt Chapman, who is 1 for 2 tonight. Struck out swinging on a 3-2 pitch back in the 3rd and singled to left. And a pitch up and in to Chapman, who also had a fastball up and in back in the 3rd inning.
There's a backup slider right there.
And the 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. The next 71 miles an hour at him way out in front, 2-1.
nice swing at that. I think he thinks he was on that, but I bet you contact with that ball was way out in front.
And now it's 2-2. It's had them off balance all night long.
It's a good pitch right here.
And the 2-2 is a strikeout, and that's number 8 tonight for Adam Wainwright. 6-1. At the ballpark is Tuesday, August 16th. Purchase of a themed ticket, take home a David Eckstein wrestling bobblehead, and it's cardinals.com/theme. The new pitcher in is Anthony Banda. We've seen Gosman, Richards, Beasley, and now Banda. 6-1 Cardinals. They have out hit the Blue Jays 11-5.
I don't know about you, but that's all kind of wrong right there with David Eckstein with the belt over his shoulder like he's Scott Rowland size. I could see like Scott Rowland or Spezio, but the David Eckstein with the championship belt. Oh boy.
Here's Brendan Donovan. He was left at the dish when Carlson was picked off. As we talked about last night, though, ball game, is our World Series MVP of '06, David Eckstein, is a big wrestling fan.
I don't think that you didn't have enough bigs in there. He's a huge wrestling fan. But you're right.
Now, I don't think he fits maybe the look of what you think a big pro wrestler might be. 2-0 pitch. But as we know with David, it's all about what's in here. Heart.
Oh, yes. In the heart.
That's right.
He's got the belt, though.
Here's a 2-1 pitch. Hit out of play. Well, the question will be, do you go out with Wainwright for one more inning, or do you turn it over to a rested bullpen? He's got 99 pitches on the night, and it looks like he will go back out there. Two pitch. Jimmy, you may recall the game that he threw the complete game and actually lost. It was that Friday night against the Phillies. You remember that, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
Ollie actually went to Waino in the dugout and told him, Ollie was telling me this yesterday, and this is where you get into the talk of, okay, what do you do when you have analytics, or what do you do when you say a guy's out of gas, or you have your gut as a manager, and you're managing for the now, but also the confidence that you show in a player. He had gone to Waino and said, if we tie this game up, you've got the 10th.
Huh.
How about that?
And I'm sure he said, okay, let's go.
Now, do I believe Ollie would have done that? I'm not so sure. But he told him that. And you got to appreciate that if you're Waino or any other pitcher.
Well, from what I do know about Ollie is he's going to give you the truth, whether you like it or not.
The 2-2 just missed. And that'll be a walk, leadoff walk to start the inning. By the way, Jimmy, you notice how Banda was pitching there. Now, this may be a little different with a runner at first, but he was never ever looking at the plate. You know, he would get his sign with PitchCom, and then he would never look in when guys were calling time. He had no idea if they were stepping out.
Yeah, he almost threw that pitch to home, and the umpire was standing in front of the catcher But so much for picking up your target early and staying focused, huh?
Huh. Here's Dickerson, who is 0 for 3 tonight. That's fouled back. He is struck out, fly to right, and grounded out to short. Giovanni Gallegos begins to throw for St. Louis in the bullpen. It'll be Jansen, Tapia, Springer due up for the Blue Jays in their half of the 8th. And the 0-1 pitch popped foul and out of play. Dickerson against Banda is 0 for 1 with a walk, head to head. Adam Wainwright has worked 5 or more innings in now 18 of his 20 starts this year. And the exceptions were both against Milwaukee. He went 4 1/3 early in the season, April 14th, and then back on June 22nd, 4 2/3. So doesn't look at the catcher. Now he's set. Gets the call from PitchCom.
All over.
And it's 1-2. Lined into center field, and that's a base hit. Cardinals with their 12th hit tonight, and 2 runners on, nobody out here in the 8th inning.
He's finally caught up to a fastball, but you know what he finally did right here is he flattened out his swing a little bit shorter. Got to the fastball that time. A couple of those other swings is a little bit tilted up. A little bit late.
And the batter will be Lars Nootbaar. Nootbaar is 1 for 3 tonight with an RBI double back in inning number 4. Runners at first and second. And the first pitch to him, he's showing bunt, and it's strike 1. Blue Jays will welcome Detroit to town tomorrow. The Cardinals off day in Washington. And that's strike 2, 0-2 on Lars Nootbaar. The 0-2 tapped foul. Inning started with a walk issued to Donovan. Dickerson, the base hit to center. 0-2 the count on Nootbaar. Night in which Cardinals have put together 12 hits. And the 0-2 pitch to Lars. Pulled foul. Long look, and the 0-2 off the glove of Banda, and everybody's safe. That'll be a base hit, and the bases will be loaded.
Thank you very much.
No doubt. It's a 2-hit night for Lars Nootbaar. Now the base is loaded, nobody out. for Nolan Gorman. He's got a single, stolen base, run scored in the third, and then this long home run to left center, well over 400 feet, and home run number 10 in his rookie campaign. The Cardinals now with the bases loaded.
That's so easy for him.
Infield in, and the first pitch taken high. Gorman has done just fine against the lefties. 4 for 14. That's a 286 average. And he rips it into the glove of the second baseman. That's Biggio, and it turns out to be a double play. Well, you're not going to hit a ball much harder than he just did.
Well, smashed right on the nose. It's always interesting now, too, watching the game, because as soon as the ball's hit, you don't know where the defense is half the time. I think a line drive is going to get through and just right at somebody. Good swing, though. You got to take that the way he was going.
Kisner, a 2-hit night. Ground rule double down into the right field corner and a base hit to center. Runners at the corners, 2 away. That's off the end of the bat. Strike 1. And the 0-1 pitch. A ball and a strike on Kisner. Here's a 1-1. Way inside. 2-1. Three and 1. The switch hitting Tommy Edman on deck. The 3-1 pitch. Andrew Kisner at the plate. 3-2.
It's interesting. It went 2-1 changeup. Wasn't even close. And then 3-1 just throws a fastball right by him. Good fastball by a lefty, too. So kind of surprising you want to mess around when you're throwing 95.
Crowd comes alive, and the 3-2 pitch to Kisner. On the inside corner and struck him out. Cardinals strand a pair. Bottom of the 8th coming up. The Budweiser plays of the game. It's like turn back the clock night here in Toronto. Adam Wainwright and Albert Pujols dealing Waino 7 innings with the 1 run, 5 hits. And how about Albert? 3 hits tonight, including home run number 686 of his magnificent career. A triple away from the cycle. The Budweiser plays of the game.
That was your Budweiser turn back the clock night. All you're missing is Yachty.
That's Tuesday. I would assume, Jimmy, in all seriousness, that the next start that Adam Wainwright makes, Yadier Molina's behind the plate.
Well, I hope so.
I'm with you. They'll have a chance to make history before this one is all said and done. Set the all-time battery mate combination starts in the history of Major League Baseball. Cardinals trying to keep pace with the Brewers. They won today. Burns picked up the win. He's 8-4. They beat the Twins. Milwaukee did 8-4. And it was the Phillies over the Braves 7-2. You think about the wild card. So Giovanni Gallegos will get Jansen, Tapia, Springer. 8th inning rolls in. First pitch is strike. Jansen is flied to center and also flied out to right. And a fly ball into shallow left center, and there is Dylan Carlson.
He's doing a really nice job out there, Danny. Seems to be everywhere. Right place, right time. Gets good jumps. Taking charge. Everything that you could possibly ask.
And his offense is picked up as well too.
You know, I can't help but think there's something involved there also too, because I felt like playing center field, you're more involved in what's going on, keeps you kind of involved in the game a little bit more. I thought that might be something that would help him a little bit, just stay involved and kind of see a little bit more of the game.
There's Tapia. He is grounded out to short in the 3rd inning. Infield hit in the 5th. 1 for 2 tonight. And a grounder foul. And it's 0-2. Tapia head-to-head against Gallegos is 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI. Giovanni, it's his 36th appearance. Pitched 4 days ago against Cincinnati, went an inning and a 1/3. Good pitch in on his hands, fouled back. I don't know if you saw this, Jimmy, but and I know that you have taken a liking to him and vice versa, but Mike Trout dealing with a rare back condition and something that they think could be very problematic for him. And that's not good for the Angels, and it's not good for us as baseball fans. We want to watch him play.
You're not kidding. He is really good for the game, and he is a special talent.
A fly ball out to left, and the catch made by Tyler O'Neill. While we have a moment, quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less, for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
At the Subway Series, Yankees and Mets 2-2. Max Scherzer making the start on his 38th birthday. 7 scoreless for him. And that is hit out of play by George Springer. And the 0-1 pitch by Giovanni Gallegos to Springer. 0-2.
Swung hard at a lot of breaking balls today. Like he is either trying to do too much, trying to launch, or just not seeing the ball very well.
Up and in. Cardinals in the top of the ninth will have the top of the lineup. Edman, Carlson, O'Neill, if anybody can reach. Albert. Nine pitches, 8 of which have been strikes from Giovanni Gallegos. And the 1-2 popped up down the right field line and foul.
Wish sometimes you could sit back and reflect on games as a player, and if he can watch what he's done in this game so far with Giovanni with this lead. He just goes out, works a little faster, and throws strikes. This is the same thing that can be done with a 2-run lead, a 1-run lead, 3-run lead. Just throw strikes and work and move.
Picks up the strikeout as Springer. And the ninth inning coming up. It's 6-1. Cardinals have vowed to hit the Blue Jays 13-5, and they lead it 6-1. And it is a St. Louis native, 35-year-old right-hander, David Phelps, well traveled with the Yankees, Marlins, Mariners, a couple of stints now with the Blue Jays, the Cubs, Brewers, and Phillies. Chevy called to the pen, and David Phelps, graduate of Hazelwood West High School in Missouri, into the ball game at the top of the St. Louis lineup. Went on to pitch at Notre Dame. We've had a lot of big leaguers come from Notre Dame.
Recently, I feel like it's been a lot more than in the past. I remember Jeff Samardzic jumped in there from Notre Dame back in the day, and then all of a sudden it paved the way for maybe some more baseball players.
He was pretty darn good at football.
Yeah, he was. He set a bunch of records at Notre Dame.
The fly ball off the bat of Tommy Edman into right field, and the catch made for the first out.
This is interesting, Danny, looking at David Phelps versus a right-hander. He's 50% fastballs, then slider, then curve. Against lefties, he's 30% fastballs with 30% slider and 20% curveball. So complete different pitcher from a right-handed side to the left-handed side. That is very unusual to be that dramatically different. You could see maybe not using the slider or the breaking ball, but not completely getting away from the fastball altogether, especially with throwing most of the time 93, 94.
There's Dylan Carlson. I'd love to see one, but get one on and let Albert have one more at bat in front of these folks here in Toronto. That'd be cool to see.
Selfishly,
yep,
it would be cool.
And that's a strikeout of Dylan Carlson, so quickly 2 away.
It's a good job right here by Phelps. Good first pitch, then goes away with the changeup, and then the super sinker, Eraser X, Greg Maddux style fastball in and runs it back. Kind of tough pitch for Dylan to pull the trigger.
First pitch to Tyler O'Neill is a strike. Albert Pujols with 3 hits and a triple away from the cycle. And the 0-1 pitch. A little surprised that, and he did get a great ovation both times, but no mention on the video board. At least I didn't see it. The scoreboard here, and pausing and recognizing his final year. There was no pregame presentation. That's hit out of play.
Do a little bit things different up there in Canada.
Again, not taking anything away from how they addressed him when he first came up the first 2 plate appearances. They were tremendous. Great ovations for Albert, but teams now in the second half, it'll be interesting how they approach it, especially when we get into the Central and that final time in Chicago and Cincinnati and Pittsburgh and the places that he visited so much.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way that the fans gave him that ovation. I wasn't expecting that in Toronto, the way that he got it.
The 2-2 and a strikeout. So good work from Phelps in a 1-2-3 inning. Two of their series 6-1. And Wainwright 7 strong innings. Albert Pujols 3 for 4 with a single, a double, a 3-run homer, number 686 of his major league career. And the rookie Nolan Gorman picks up his 10th in the big leagues as he goes 2 for 4 with a couple of runs. Be an off day tomorrow for the Cardinals, and we'll be back with you Friday night from Washington. Our Chevy called to the pen, and the All-Star is in. 33rd appearance for Ryan Helsley. Last pitched 4 days ago, went an inning and a third. 19 pitches, no hits. And on the season, the batting average against him is 105. He's given up a total of 14 hits. You go back to the start of last season, Adam Wainwright has gone 7 or more innings 24 times. That's second most in baseball to Sandy Alcantara. He's had 27. Wainwright 24. Zach Wheeler 23. Yu Darvish 17. He was awfully good again here tonight. 7 innings and 5 hits. Just 1 run. Vladimir Guerrero, a couple of All-Stars squaring off here.
I know you don't want to really take a chance here, but are you a little surprised with Helsley in a 6-1 game, or you can't take a chance and that's the bottom line?
I think it's kind of a 2-prong approach to this, Jimmy, and you hit it on the head with one. You're not going to take a chance. You need a win. I mean, you dropped 2 out of 3 in Cincinnati. Last night was not a pretty game. You got Waino on the mound tonight. You want to get him that win. Club needs a win. You're taking no chances. And I do have to wonder if you got the off day tomorrow, and you want Helsley to stay somewhat as sharp as he can.
Yep. Good call.
And I just saw Genesis Cabrera raise his arm out in the bullpen. He said, "What about me, Dan? Jimmy, I'm available too."
Don't forget. Did he raise his arm up like Cabrera raised his arm up, or did he raise his arm up like Steve Klein raised his arm up that day?
Oh, no, not that way.
Oh, sorry.
More like asking the teacher a question.
Oh, not the other one. Not
That's
the Klein
right.
way.
And a grounder hit sharply to Donovan. He's had a nice night at third base defensively, and the out.
Hands are so quick. So much quicker. They had the difference between him and his dad is watch how quick and short he is. And his dad had that really long, big swing. I think he recognizes the ball in and he can just kind of get to it. Where his dad was like all or nothing. He was going to swing and he could put the bat on anything. His dad could put the bat on a bullet.
Jimmy, that's 101 in.
That's why I was saying.
Wow.
Had to shorten up a little bit.
Here's Alejandro Kirk, and a strike at triple digits.
Danny, I had something for you way back when, and I totally forgot about it. We were talking about the Rockies really quick. The Rockies are second in batting average, and they're 7th in runs scored, but they're 28th in ERA. That's why pitching's so important.
That's almost every year, though, it seems like, with Colorado.
Yeah. The run differential is -67. So, like I said, you can put all those guys out there you want, but you still need pitching.
Kirk is hitless tonight, and the 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss, and that's 10 strikeouts in the Blue Jays lineup. First strikeout for Helsley. Bo Bichette has struck out. RBI on an infield hit. Sent one to deep center, and that was tracked down by Dylan Carlson in a fine play in center. So the Blue Jays down to their final out, and the first pitch is taken for a ball outside. Needless to say, partner, this was a ball game that the Cardinals needed in a big way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was going to say this would be an interesting at bat for Bichette, because I like the way his thought process is about going up the middle. See how he handles this. Because you definitely have to turn up turn it up a little bit to catch up to 100. And he's such a good breaking ball hitter. So curious to see this matchup right here.
Well, if the Cardinals hold on, it's career win number 191 for Adam Wainwright. 5th most among active pitchers. Leading the way, it's Verlander at 239.
Ouch.
Greinke 222. Max Scherzer at 196. Kershaw 192. And Waino would have 191. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, you hear the difference in the mask now with Kisner right here that used to be that big thump, and now you can kind of hear the springs making the noise, and so you can see that you hear it again right there, but the evolution of that mask. I always thought that mask would give you a little bit more support, and you see those springs right there. That's just a nice job. I thought the hockey mask was a great idea, but I feel like the noise off the hockey mask can cause just as much damage.
And it's 2-2. And the Blue Jays down to their final strike. Helsley trying to finish it off, and a 2-2 pitch from Ryan Helsley to Bo Bichette. Swing and a miss, and the Cardinals win it 6-1. 101 on the gun from Helsley. They earn a split here in Toronto. Waino finally gets a win. He's now 7-8, and it's career win number 191. In a game in the final time folks will see him in Toronto. Albert Pujols puts on a show.
You said it all. I don't have anything else to say. Great job, Waino. Albert, wowee. And the home run up into the restaurant today. That was a big, big, big home run. Great job by both of those old folks.
So it's off to the post-game show. Off day tomorrow. Cardinals first of 3 against the Nationals beginning on Friday night. Big night for number 5, and they're going to break it down on the post-game show, which comes your way next.